You're lying in bed. It's late. Everyone else in the world seems to be asleep, peacefully, effortlessly, like it's the easiest thing in the world. And there you are, wide awake, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago, analyzing the exact tone someone used when they said, "sure." Was that a normal sure, or was that a loaded sure? Did they mean it? Were they annoyed? Should you have said something different? Your brain is running a full investigation into a single three-letter word at midnight, and honestly, it's exhausting. Here's what most people assume about overthinkers. They assume it's a bad habit, a weakness, something you could just stop doing if you really tried. But psychology tells a very different story. Overthinking isn't a character flaw. It's actually a sign of how your brain is wired, and understanding why it happens might be the most useful thing you do today. So let's talk about the 7 signs that you overthink everything more than the average person, not to make you feel broken, but to help you finally understand yourself. The first sign is that you replay conversations long after they're over. Not just big, important conversations, any conversation. The one with your coworker about the project, the text exchange with a friend, the brief interaction at the coffee shop where you said, "you too," when the cashier told you to enjoy your meal. You're not doing this on purpose. Your brain is doing what researchers call post-event processing, mentally reviewing social interactions to check for errors, threats, or signs of judgment. It's your mind trying to protect you. The problem is, it doesn't know when to clock out. The second sign is that making decisions, even small ones, feels genuinely difficult. A menu at a restaurant can become a philosophical crisis because your brain doesn't just see 2 options, it sees every possible outcome of both options, then the outcomes of those options, branching out like a tree that never stops growing. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis, and it's deeply connected to a mind that processes information at a higher intensity than average. You're not indecisive, you're thorough. The wiring just runs a little hot. Third, and this one is big, you imagine worst-case scenarios with startling detail and creativity. You don't just worry that something might go wrong, you construct an entire film in your mind. Full cast, full plot, director's cut. You send one important email and then spend the next hour writing the screenplay of every possible negative response. Neuroscience shows that overthinkers have a more active default mode network, the part of the brain responsible for self-referential thinking and mental simulation. In other words, your brain is constantly running rehearsals for situations that haven't happened and may never happen. The fourth sign is that you find it very hard to be fully present. Even when something good is happening, a nice dinner, a relaxing evening, a moment you know you should enjoy, part of your mind is somewhere else entirely, reviewing the past or previewing the future.
This is one of the quieter costs of overthinking, and it's a real one. Because life happens in the present, and your brain keeps dragging you to the editing room instead of letting you live in the actual scene. Fifth, you frequently second-guess yourself, even after you've already decided something. You make the choice, commit to it, and then immediately begin questioning whether it was right. This loop can go on indefinitely. And what's happening psychologically is fascinating. Overthinkers often have a lower tolerance for uncertainty, and the brain responds to uncertainty the same way it responds to physical discomfort. So it keeps searching for more information, more reassurance, more anything that might finally make the uncertainty stop. It rarely does. The sixth sign is that you're hyper-aware of how other people might perceive you, not in a vain way, in an exhausting, involuntary way. You notice how you phrased things. You wonder how you came across. You mentally edit words you said hours ago as if you could go back and re-record them. Social psychologist Thomas Gilovich found in his research that we consistently overestimate how much other people notice and remember our actions. The spotlight feels blinding to you, but in reality, most people are far too busy starring in their own film to pay close attention to yours. And the seventh sign, the one that quietly defines overthinkers more than any other, is that your mind almost never fully rests. Even in calm moments, there's a background hum, a low-level processing that never quite switches off. You might describe it as always being slightly tense or never feeling completely switched off, even on vacation, even on weekends, even in the middle of a good day. That hum is your brain doing what it was built to do. It just hasn't learned yet that not every moment requires full alert. Here's the perspective shift I want to leave you with. Overthinking, at its core, is intelligence without direction. It's a powerful mind that hasn't yet been given the right channel. The same brain that tortures you at midnight is the brain that catches what others miss, plans better than anyone in the room, and feels the world with a depth most people never experience. The goal isn't to think less. The goal is to think with purpose. If this felt uncomfortably familiar, you're not alone, and you're not broken. Drop a comment and tell me which sign hit closest to home. And if someone in your life needs to hear this today, share it with them. They'll thank you for it.